Live from Houston, Texas, the humidity capital of the world, it's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez. Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch and check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.
Hey guys, we are back. We're going to be talking with Rob Covill. Rob Covill, a.k.a. the Lazy Trader. He's going to be joining us momentarily. He is regarded nationwide as the laziest trader to come out of London, England. He trades financial markets full-time, but for only 10 minutes a day. He has also taught thousands of private investors how to do the same. What is Forex and how can you make money at it? We're about to find out. Rob Covill, welcome to Money for Lunch.
Hello there, Bert. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. All right, so I have to ask you, real quick, Forex trading is foreign currency. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. Essentially, it's where you are able to trade different currency pairs up or down.
Gotcha. All right, so I have to ask you real quick, how easy really is it to train a complete novice to become a profitable Forex trader in the market?
Well, Bert, you'll be surprised, actually. It's pretty straightforward, providing you're prepared to be coached and that you have realistic expectations and also have a tried and tested profitable strategy. Most people who actually trade, Bert, don't bother to actually seek coaching. And for that reason, many do lose money in financial markets trading, not only just Forex, but stocks trading as well. But providing you're willing to sit down and get coached, you will be fine.
Well, you know what, and I have to ask you this, Rob, though, doesn't that make sense? I mean, if you're going to get into shape, you're going to do it quicker, better, faster if you get a coach. The same thing with learning how to cook. The same thing with, if you're going to get ready for a marathon. I mean, you can always do things yourself, and, you have to be willing to go through all the pain of learning it yourself. The school of hard knocks, right?
That's very true indeed. I mean, as you said, but quite right there. I mean, if you're going to, essentially learn to drive, you're going to do it in a car, hopefully with a steering wheel and a driving instructor. But for some reason, a lot of people, when it comes to financial markets trading, not just Forex, they seem to think that they can just corner the market by themselves in their spare room whilst eating their spaghetti bolognese at home in the spare bedroom. It's quite alarming, actually. But I think it's because people just want this instant sense of instant gratification. They think that making money from the markets is easy, and it can be, but I think a lot of people have this kind of grandiose illusion of like how easy it can be and how much money they can make in a very short space of time. And I will say to my clients that sure enough, it can be easy to make money from financial markets trading, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme at all.
Now, let me ask you this. Let's talk about some of the mistakes. What kind of mistakes do typical novices make if they don't bother to get some kind of system or training? What kind of mistakes are you seeing them make out there?
Well, everything. I mean, everything from like trading without a stop loss, which is basically a protective order which gets you out if the trade is going against you. They also don't know how to risk size, where we essentially only risk a very small amount of our trading accounts on the trade, and we never risk more than 1 or 2% for every trade which you make. But it's quite common for the rookie just to simply wipe out their whole account on one trade. And another thing which is quite often for a rookie to do is to essentially fall in love with a losing trade, where they're proven wrong by the market. And,
Wait. Walk me through this. How do you fall in love with the losing trade? What do you mean by that?
Well, that's the thing. It's where the ego becomes your enemy in the market. It's like if you've seen what you think is a really good trade setup, and you've placed a trade and the market's losing you money, but you're thinking to yourself, hell, it's got to be right. It looks so good. And they take it and they just let the market wipe out their whole account without wanting to be proved wrong by the market. Whereas professional traders who've been in the saddle for a lot longer will appreciate that losing is a part of winning the overall game. Whereas a rookie error is just to simply go in all guns blazing, ultimately to wipe out their whole accounts.
Right. And they make the rookie mistake of, like you said, falling in love. They make that emotional decision versus trying to separate the emotion and trying to go from maybe managing just from numbers and saying, hey, if it's losing, it's losing. Let's get out.
Absolutely, that's right. And trading is a very emotional game for that reason. I mean, trader psychology is one huge thing which is very kind of like unknown in the industry, and it's very important. They say 80% of trading is mastering your psychology and not having an emotional attachment to the outcome of your trade. And to accept like a losing trade, face it, we all get losing trades, but the rookie typically won't accept the losing trade as part and parcel of trading. They'll take it personally, and then they'll get frustrated and play the trades out of anger, and then that will lose them money, and then they'll trade a place out of revenge, and that will lose them some more money. So you can see how the vicious circle can develop for the newbies out there.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I'm really intrigued by the handle or the what do you call it, the moniker, the laziest trader, the lazy trader. Walk me through this. How do you call yourself the lazy trader, which has actually turned out to be something on a kind of a household name? What inspired this?
Okay, well, to be honest with you, Bert, I mean, financial markets trading is something I fell into about 6-7 years ago, and I mastered it after about a year and a half. Sure enough, I had a school of knocks along the way because I decided to learn the hard way. But essentially, I never actually found financial markets trading that interesting. I actually found it as merely a vehicle to make a very handsome capital growth in your trading account. And I figured that even though it's a very dry subject and pretty boring watching charts all day, I just figured that if there was a way where I could simply make money from the markets without having to be in front of the screen all day, then that would be a win-win. So we've essentially devised these strategies which are especially set and forget strategies where people can just place the orders up with their broker and walk away from their screen and essentially only really have to trade for only 10 minutes a day, providing they know what they're doing. And I think that's a win-win because where you've got no certified outcome out of the market, there's little point in you being in front of the screen all day because you're not going to win every single trade you're going to place. So if you just got your money working hard for you in the background whilst you're doing other things, then that's a win-win. Your money's working hard for you in your absence.
Well, let's talk about this a little bit. You know, give me your experience, and I want to, get your thoughts on this. What can Forex trading or trading financial markets do for people? What can they achieve with this kind of, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it a lifestyle or a business. What can they achieve through trading financial markets?
Okay, well, it all depends on how much money they trade with. I mean, certainly if they're looking for a regular percentage gain and they've got a consistently profitable strategy, then they can expect to get an impressive capital growth in their money, a lot more so than what the banks are offering at the moment. I mean, what are they offering, like 1 or 2% a year?
I don't. You know what? Here's the shame of it, Rob, is that I don't know any bank that's offering 1 or 2%. I think most of them are under 1% now.
Oh wow, that's almost criminal. But I mean, typically I aim to trade my clients to get anything from like 3 to 6% a month. Some months they'll be break even, some months it'll be 12, 11%. It varies, but essentially they can hope to get a much better return than what they're getting in their high street bank. And they'll be safe in the knowledge that through spending the least amount of time possible trading financial markets, that they have their money working overtime for them day and night. And that's essentially where we're at the moment, compounded growth on their money, rather than having to essentially swap time for it. Because that's what a lot of people do who are kind of on wage packets, swapping their time for an hourly rate. They're swapping their time for money, whereas if you're trading financial markets, the lazy trader way, you can have your money working for you in the background whilst you are concentrating on other income streams as well, or just having a life. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, we've mentioned people in all walks of life how to do this, so you'd be surprised at how many people are doing it.
Absolutely. No, you know what, and it's like, I guess it's like anything else. You know, you can get out of it whatever you put into it, and it's depending on how good you are with strategizing, you know, your goals and things like that. But let me ask you this, because something that intrigued me, you mentioned earlier that even if you are a successful trader, that losing trades is part and parcel of just trading. So how do you cope with losses or losing on or when you're on a losing streak? How do you cope with that?
Well, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's something which is mastered in a very short space of time. I mean, certainly every kind of like trade you place is not going to be a guaranteed winner. It's like anyone who's in telesales, for example. Every phone call they make doesn't convert to a sale, but every no is one step closer to a yes. But if you're trading financial markets and you've got a highly profitable strategy with high reward to risk and profit potential, then every losing trade you can see as a necessary business expense for a string of wins. And if you consider like variance in the market and the opportunity flow, you're going to get strings of winners and strings of losing trades as well. But providing your trade setup follows the rules of your strategy, then you should take the trade, because you just don't know unless you're in the eye of the storm. And if you've got good reward to risk on your side, then you should be absolutely fine long term. In fact, you will be fine long term. But the important element is just not to lose your head and just to embrace losing as a part of winning. And
you know what, right there, what you said, isn't that just part of life? I mean, I love that. Embracing losing as part of winning. That right there is a best-selling book.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I'm actually writing a book at the moment, and well, it's going to be released next year, but details to be announced, especially.
Well, okay, so let's talk about this. All right, so you're a Forex trading coach. What do you offer your clients?
Okay, well, we've actually launched a new product called Lazy Trader Ultimate, which offers, we've got a whole new video section with 10 hours of video mentoring of how to trade financial markets from as little as 10 minutes a day. They've also got the opportunity to follow my trade signals as well, so that even if they can't be bothered to do the hard work themselves, they can always copy what we do. And we only recommend, in terms of trade signals, what we place in our own accounts as well, so they can be rest assured they're only going to get good quality stuff. We also give them market analysis and one-on-one mentoring as well, and it's all included in this one deal we have, actually. And it's going to be launched very shortly on our website at www.thelazytrader.com, but it's essentially a one-stop shop for people who specifically want to make the most out of financial markets trading from doing the least amount of work possible. And that's a win-win.
I love it.
There, right?
I love it. You know what, and I think that what you're doing is going to be very appealing to a lot of people. And the website, again, is thelazytrader.com.
That's the one.
Thelazytrader.com. If you're interested in learning about Forex trading, how Forex trading could possibly impact your life in a positive way, check out Rob's program, thelazytrader.com. Rob Coville, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing.
Thank you very much, Bert. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show.
You bet. Guys, we are off and running. Great content today by Rob Coville, by Sunil Tusani, and also by Michael Port. All great content, how you can increase your business and really sometimes change your life. And we talked about, you know, the Sunil, who was a former police officer who made a success in real estate, and then some other great strategies here today. Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be right back talking to Chris Brady right after this.
Welcome back to Geico Radio. It's savings on the radio.
Call us, Steve. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just got a free rate quote on Geico.com. Saved a ton, and it only took me 5 minutes and 12 seconds. I was wondering, is that some sort of record?
That's a good question. Let's have a look.
Not quite. Someone's got you beat by 8 seconds.
Still, I mean, that's quite fast.
Well, what if I told you I only use one hand?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch and check out our website